Judah Tours and their people treated us incredibly. The guide for each part of the day was knowledgeable, generous, and each were great hosts. On the drive, we made small stops at some Banksy paintings and got to learn more about the Israel-Palestine border and learn about the personal perspectives and impacts of a complex situation. In the afternoon, since we had a small group, they gave us a near-private tour and added in lots of extra stops along the way that we didn't expect to get to beyond the Dead Sea. The whole day was a treat and the entire team was kind, professional and generous. I wouldn't hesitate to book with them again and recommend them to others. For anyone else wondering. Morning, drive and visit the 3 churches in Bethlehem and a walk along the historic road, included stops at the border and a rooftop view for coffee. Midday, stop at an olive wood carving factory, we're given lunch there. Afternoon, separated into our various groups, some returned to Jerusalem, the rest of the group by the remaining tours we booked. We were transferred to a private driver who drove us to some various sites, ending at the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is more of a float and you can't stay in long, so we really only stayed around the water itself for 20 to 30 minutes. They do have showers and areas to change there, bring a towel and bathing suit. I had a great tour with Johnny, a local Bethlehem Palestinian guide. The first half was spent in the church sites in Bethlehem, and the second half was spent at the Dead Sea. It was a very quick stop for lunch at a gift shop, where most of us bought our tickets to the Dead Sea. Do note that you have to budget for the additional cost of lunch and your ticket to the Dead Sea beach. The Dead Sea was my personal highlight. The beach resort had easy access and great facilities, and you could buy drinks etc. for reasonable prices. We had at least 2 hours here and it was plenty of time. I'm not sure why other reviewers are critiquing it being overly religious. It's really not, and besides, you don't come to the birthplace of Jesus and avoid religion. Our guide certainly didn't preach to us. My only criticism was that the Church of the Nativity was very crowded, but that's just the popularity of the site and no fault of our guide. Overall a great tour and happy I chose this one. This day tour was the highlight of our family's trip. We traveled from Tel Aviv, pickup wasn't at our hotel, which means some extra transportation logistics for going and returning. Who knew that finding a taxi on a Friday evening would be such a headache? The Bethlehem portion of the trip was very well organized. Elias was a wonderful guide and provided us with a lot of insight into the area and the birth of Christ in an engaging way. The tour provides water on the coach, nice perk. FYI, Bethlehem is in Palestine and we were recommended to travel with our passports in case of a check at the checkpoint. Our afternoon was spent at Neve Midbar at the Dead Sea. We were provided with 2 hours. This was enough time to float, smother ourselves with mud, and then shower and change. Bring a newspaper/book for awesome pictures. We even had time for a camel ride before we returned to the bus, highly recommend. Bethlehem tour was a blast. Elias, the English-speaking guide, was superb, knowledgeable, very considerate and with a great sense of humor. We saw all the mandatory religious sites, plus got a glimpse of life in the West Bank. Highly recommended. The extension to the Dead Sea is a must, crossing the desert, the Bedouins, taking a dip in the Dead Sea at 1,290 feet below sea level, a unique experience. Rami, the driver for the day, kept his cool and was very professional during this 10-hour day trip. I went on this tour with my teenage son and it was one of the best days of our trip to Israel. The tour was made by our guide, Elias, who was friendly, knowledgeable, welcoming, funny and he genuinely wanted to share his passion with you. He welcomed all questions and we learned so much from him. The pickup was easy and the coach had full AC. It was a great day and I would definitely use the company again. Shukran Elias and Rami for a wonderful day. drivers and tour guide. Super professional, trying their best and providing as much as they can. I read some bad reviews regarding the queue in the Nativity Church in Bethlehem. That's not up to the guides, and still they try to maximize the time in providing a personal view and experience about the local lives and what media doesn't show up. Special thanks to George the driver. All the best.